My name is Deborah Bucher with Deborah Bucher Designs, and I'm a retailer for Dixie Belle chalk paint, and I also have my own line of decoupage tissue, and all the links to those products are up in the comments, and that's what we'll be using today. And we've been working on this cute little birdhouse for the last couple of days, and it's almost finished. I started this like several years ago and then pulled it off the shelf and it already had all the moldings on it. I'd already put that all on it a few years ago, but I didn't get it completed. So here I've added on some more today, and that was missing. And I still need to add on a few places over here on this side and on the back. But because this is clay, I didn't want to smash it. I wanted it to have time to set up and dry. So I'm just going to let this be, and I'll finish it in a day or two. But I think it's so pretty. I just love how this hi Maria. I just love how this birdhouse is turning out. It's like quite the little fairy tale, I think. The detail is beautiful, and all that detail is done with molds. With some are Prima, some are IOD, but they're all molds. So I'm going to set this out of our way for today. Today, we're going to do another birdhouse. And I want to show you with this, and I'm sure I got this at either Michael's or Hobby Lobby, one or the other. Okay, so this was a wooden birdhouse. I've completely painted it in cotton white. Okay. So I drew my lines on because I'm going to do some shade of lavender up here in the checks, like lavender and white checks going all the way around. And then I have this really pretty napkin. I've used this napkin before, and it's such a pretty napkin, and so I'm going to use this napkin on the base of this birdhouse. We're going to do that together today, but I just want to show you how cute these are. If you pick up, and this needs a good polishing, but if you pick up a silver candlestick at the Goodwill or your thrift store, and then set your birdhouse on top of a candlestick, isn't that cute? Let's get started. Okay, so the lavender, we have different shades of lavender in this napkin. We've got light, like over here, and we've got deep lavender over here. And there's even a bit of this mauve. It's called Secret Path, but it's kind of a mauve color. So I think for the rooftop on here, I'm thinking of doing the check with this really pretty amethyst. Amethyst is my birthstone. And the easiest way to do that is to have a really good square tipped brush. I took this stick and I drew all my lines. I used this as my ruler, and I drew all my lines all the way up, all the way around. And then I needed it to be a little bit wider in the middle. So then I just used my 1-inch ruler and drew my lines on either side. And then I took my pencil and lightly marked the X's in the squares that I need to paint in. So that'll make it easier for me when I'm chattering away with you guys. That'll make it easier for me to chatter and not get messed up. It's funny because purple is my favorite color, and purely by accident, I was born in February, so it's also my birthstone. Okay, so I'm just painting the spots that are with the X's in them. And I did base coat this with 2 coats of Dixie Belle white. It's called Cotton, because I didn't want to spend all our time base coating. So what do you guys think about the birdhouse idea? Just want to make sure, because this is a hard angle for me to paint at, but I need to be sure you guys are in the camera. I love this shade of amethyst. Okay, so painting checks is not my best talent, and I will have to go back and do some touch-up, at least not right away. Okay, so we'll let that just take a moment to dry, and I'll show you guys this napkin. And I did put the link in the description for this napkin, and I have lots of other napkins. It's just that purple's my favorite color, and I just thought a checked purple roof on here would be super cute and a little different. Okay, so I have this really pretty napkin. I'm going to move this. And I've used it on a few things. I think I used it on coasters once, and I used it on a really pretty wooden jewelry box. And I just thought it would be really pretty on this. We're going to decoupage it on the lower part here of this part of the birdhouse. And, you know, I've got the deep lavender there, and I've got, well, that's the amethyst, and then I have the lavender flowers there, and maybe we need a little bit of this. I think it's called Secret Path, kind of a goofy name. We'll see if we need it or not, but that's what we're going to decoupage. So we're going to do all the lower half of the birdhouse in the decoupage. And then I don't know what we're going to do down here. I haven't thought that far. The way I work, you guys, is one thing tells me what the next thing needs to be. So that's how my brain works. Sometimes I can plan it out, but sometimes I just have to wait for inspiration to tell me what the next step is. And I'm using a nice little square tipped brush. Now I know a lot of you ladies are check queens. You could just whip this out, nothing flat. Okay, so that's where we're going. There's the front of our little birdie house. Okay, so if you came on late, we're going to use this pretty napkin. I love this napkin. This is one of my favorite napkins, and it's a Michael Design Works napkin, and I have quite a few of his napkins because I just love his designs. And if you haven't used a napkin before, you know that they have, I'm trying to find my tape. I thought I had some on the table. I did try to do some cleaning up today. But the easiest way, because you know napkins come in 2, sometimes 3 ply. The easiest way to get these plies off is to put a piece of tape on there and then pull up that tape, and it will usually pull up your plies with it. And sometimes napkins are just 2 ply and sometimes they're 3 ply, and this might still be, there might be another ply on here. I'm going to do it one more time just to see if there's another ply. Yep, there was. I thought there was. Okay, so decoupaging with a napkin isn't difficult, but do keep in mind that it is a little more fragile than when you're decoupaging with tissue paper. And I'm going to go change my water real quick because I have like real purple water and I need some clean water to do this. So I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so I was studying this earlier this afternoon to decide what my plan was. And I love these flowers right here. So my plan was to start on this side of the door there and then just wrap this all the way around. So I need to decide where to cut this so that it's more manageable. So it looks like I got the napkin wet and it tore a little bit. Good grief, Deb. All right, I know I don't need this much, but we'll start trimming here. Like I said, I don't know if I have those. Maybe I do. I do. I did a set of coasters with this napkin a few years ago. Isn't that pretty? Coasters always are fun and easy to do, and wrap them up with a pretty matching ribbon and you have a wonderful gift. If you need a gift for Bunko or somebody's birthday or a thank you or a get well, something like that is really perfect. Okay. And I know it's upside down, but I gotta start that way. So getting under this little ledge here does present a small challenge. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut it. And now I know where I need to cut it along here. I wonder if I can draw on here. Yep, that worked. Since I turned my ceiling fan off, it's warming up in here. Okay, put that scrap away because I might need it. So the edge that we cut is getting tucked up underneath here. So if it's not exactly perfect, we have a little room for error up there. Okay, so I have it right up on this edge right here, and then right up against our little bird perch. And then tucked up to the top. So I need my satin top coat. Doesn't that look pretty? I'm looking up at it on the iPad with you guys. I think that looks super pretty with that roof. It'll be cute when that roof's all done. Okay, so I'm going to flip this back over. We're going to get this started. Getting it started will be the trickiest, and then after that it should be pretty easy. And I'm using Dixie Belle Satin Top Coat, which is going to dry clear. And that's my decoupage medium of choice because it's the same thing you put on furniture and you never get discolored, cracked, or yellow finishes on your furniture if you use it. So you won't with your decoupage either. And Mod Podge will yellow and crack over time. Just saying. See, people use it all the time. Okay, so now I'm just going to lay it back down, and I have some saran wrap here because there's a lot of texture on your fingertips, and you don't, this napkin will tear real easy because you saw just laying it out and measuring it, I tore it. I'm gonna hold this up so you can see. Okay, so we've got this much down. It's tucked up in the top, and we've got this much of it down. And I'll go back and cut that little section out when we're all finished. But now we're just going to keep turning this. And you know, if you're doing a napkin on a birdhouse like this, and if it's not a shape like this, it might be easier. You know, if it had been the other birdhouse that we just finished together. In fact, I need to show you guys, I did cut out some more trimmings for that birdhouse. And what's important on this particular piece is that I always get lined up down here at the bottom. I don't care so much about the top because it's just tucking in under there anyway. And always use a piece of saran wrap because there's so much texture on your fingers. That's why you can pick up things when you drop them. And this is really thin now. We took all those plies off, so it's really thin. I'm really quite happy with this project, you guys. I'm always, you know, day to day, I'm always like, okay, now what are you going to do? Okay, now what are you going to do? When are you going to run out of ideas? Some days I walk around this house going, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But I think this is super cute. It was persnickety. Oh, for coasters? Well, I do have to say, I've done a lot of decoupaging with napkins, but this particular brand of napkins is a really, it's a little bit more expensive than most napkins are. I find them up at a gift, you can get them on Amazon, but I think they're even more on Amazon. I find them, when I go up to Heber Overgaard to where my daughter's cabin is, then we always go into Pine Top and Show Low and go visit all our favorite stores. There's some great thrift stores, and there's just some really great stores up there. And then we have lunch, and we spend a whole day in town. And there's a shop that has napkins and all kinds of novelties. It's like a novelty shop. And they make homemade fudge there. So I always buy napkins and fudge when I go there. This is working out real well. because originally I thought I was going to have to cut up each section, and then when I was puzzling over it earlier today, I thought, oh, I bet I can just wrap that around. Okay, so look how cute that looks with that check roof so far. I think that's just adorable. If I say so myself, it's just adorable. Of course, I have a whole bunch of napkin designs liked on Amazon. There's some pretty designs up on Amazon too. I just need to use what I have. And you guys, I did put the link up in the description if you'd like to just buy a napkin or look at the assortment of napkins that I have, because I have a bunch up on my website for decoupaging. So I think the tricky part is at this point, I'm going to have to, I think I better look first. This only goes partially over. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Okay. I think at this point, because I wanted this part to match this part, or do I even care? I do. I do care. So I'm going to piece this piece on. This is what I thought I was going to have to do on the whole piece. I'm glad I didn't have to do it on the whole piece. Let's see, that's like an inch and a half. So you guys, I'm just figuring it out as I go along here. And that's just kind of what you'll have to do with your napkin too. Also wondering, there's a cute little bumblebee there. I think I might use this section here instead. So that is 2¼ And the reason why I'm choosing to change it is because putting that solid piece of, I don't know what that flower is called, I should know. I'm just thinking it might be too much because we have that solid on that side. Ooh, that was close. I'm cutting a little slit there. And a little slit there. Oh, that looked pretty. That was a good decision. And I don't need all of that. Four and a half. Okay, let's do it. So cute, and you would never know I cut that napkin there. It worked really well. Okay, so I want to give it a quick little dry because I want to cut out this section here, and I think it'll cut better if it's dry rather than wet. Okay, I'm just taking my little fussy cutting scissors and just cutting out that little bird hole down here. Cuteness overload. Okay, so I still have to put another coat of top coat on this. But I'm thinking, while we're doing that, think about what I should do with this base down here. I can do it, I have a softer lavender called Lucky Lavender, is a softer one, a paler one that does match on here too. And I also have Secret Path, which is kind of a mauve color. Because I think leaving it white is maybe okay, but I'm thinking having it painted would be cute too. And I think that decoupage on there is adorable. You guys think about that. Tell me in the comments. And I'm going to quickly put another coat of satin top coat on this. And by putting another coat on here, then this is just protecting this whole piece. It can be wiped down after this and dusted. Thank you, you guys. Stripe the base, that's a good idea. What color should I stripe it with? Thanks, you guys. Okay, I like the striping idea. Tell me what color. I just need you guys to tell me which one of those colors you think the stripe should be. Now remember, this was all the same color. It was just plain unpainted wood when we started. And now it is unbelievably cute. I think it's cute. Okay, so I think the stripes are a good idea. And I just happen to have a piece of trim sitting here because I don't know if I showed you guys, because a lot of you came on a little late. But I did work on trim on the places today that this was missing trim. I still have to do a piece back here, but I needed to just let it sit like this so it didn't get squished till it was dry. I need to put some back there. So I still need to do some more trim work on there. But I do have a little scrap of trim here that as I was drying this, I was thinking, I like the stripe idea on here a lot. But I like the trim idea too. So, and I've got other trim. I've got a little thinner trim, but we could put the stripes on and then put the trim on. I think that would look cute. Maybe a little, see, I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe a little trim around the edge up there too. You know, it's just one of those things that as you go along, the pieces just start talking to you. Here's a little thinner piece of trim. Oh, I like the thinner piece better. So this is my next question. I have this piece of ruler that's this, you know, I cut my rulers up all the time for different widths of things that I need them for. There's an even skinnier one there. Kind of like the skinnier one. So let me put the camera back down. And these rulers are for sale on my website, along with the flexible ones like these too. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking this little skinny one would be a good stripe. I know that it's not the best angle for you guys, but I'm just drawing it on. Okay, so Sheila, you think green would be pretty? We'll see how it looks. It's only paint, so if we don't like it, we can always paint over it. You guys, I've shown you this before, but this is a package of brushes from Walmart. There's 50 brushes in here of all different shapes and sizes. And I think it was like $6 for all of these brushes. And it's like, that is such a bargain for crafting. Okay, because that Palmetto's pretty much that color right there, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so we'll start down here. This brush is just a little bit too wide. I need to find just a skosh more narrow. That one's too narrow, but let's see. It's going to take a second coat. I like the green, and that green matches real nice. Okay, so let me give it a quick dry and put a second coat on. I may have a little bit of top coat on here where I'm painting. That's not quite dry. Okay, and I like that, and I'm thinking, I'll look at my trims, but I'm thinking a trim maybe not exactly this one, but something similar to this would be cute going all around the base of this. Let me tip it down so you can see the stripes. And I have these cute little round legs under here. So I was thinking maybe, oh there, look how cute that is. It definitely needs the trim, I think. And I was thinking I can paint the little round legs either a pretty gold or one of these colors. Susan, you like the trim too? And I think I need to put some trim up here underneath this up here also. And see those cute little legs down there? Okay, so we have a plan, ladies, but I think this is turning out super fun. Yeah, aren't those little legs cute? Now, do you think the legs should be gold or pick one of the colors on here? Like I could do the top and the bottom, like this purple on the feet, or they could be gold, or super cute. I'm loving it. Okay, you guys, it sure was fun having you here. I really appreciate all your comments and advice on how what we should do. And I'm really loving how this is turning out. Okay, you guys, I'll see you next week. Bye.